Hello! From the studio in Nitro, West Virginia, this is Unreasonable Doubt. It's a podcast about West Virginia University basketball. I'm Josh Witt. Can West Virginia win the rest of their games this season? I'm frothing at the mouth. I told you I would if they won this game. Glad to be wrong. Thought this was a bad spot for West Virginia, and it wasn't. West Virginia gets their first road win of the season. Ross Hodge gets his first road win. First win outside of Morgantown for Ross Hodge. And it was 75-63 over the Arizona State Sun Devils. 63 points for Arizona State. That is a season low. And only the second time all season long that they were held under 70. You got to go back to early in the season. Gonzaga held them to 65. West Virginia held them to 63. And West Virginia is now 12-0 when they hold their opponent to under 70 points. And it didn't look like they were going to hold them to under 70 in the first half. The first half looked like what I thought it might, where Arizona State, who has played a brutal Big 12 schedule, and coming off of playing at Houston, West Virginia is very familiar with that. And West Virginia's defense is good. It's not Houston good. And Arizona State's back home. I'm sure they're excited to play not Houston and not Arizona, which is the last two games that they've played. And they shot 56% from the field. And when you shoot 56% from the field, you should be up big. And Arizona State was not up big at the end of the first half. They were up by 2 points. And the reason they were only up 2 is Treysen Eaglestaff. He's officially on a heater. And tonight it was from behind the three-point line. And West Virginia was struggling in the first half. They were down 13 at one point. And then here comes Treysen. And he's making threes. He had 4 made threes in the first half and helped West Virginia cut that lead from 13 down to 2 thanks to an Honor Huff 3. That was his first 3 points of the game, and it was a buzzer beater from long distance to close the half. And so then you're at a spot where, all right, is Arizona State going to keep up this shooting, or will they come back down to earth? And thank goodness they came back down to earth. And Treysen did not. Eaglestaff had a great second half as well. 23 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals. I mean, Eaglestaff's in there. He's grabbing rebounds with one hand. Only 1 turnover. That's 45 points over the last 2 games. 9 of 17 from 3 in the last 2 games. And Treysen Eaglestaff has went from, dude, you got to sit on the bench. You're not helping us out, to Ross Hodge saying, I can't sit you. Like, that's 80 minutes possible that you could play in the last 2 games. And Treysen has sat for a combined 5 minutes. What a turnaround for him. And Honor Huff, who struggled again shooting tonight, there is a scenario where Honor Huff and Treysen Eaglestaff can both be hitting. Remember the closed-door scrimmage where they combined for like 20-some threes, I think? I don't remember. I'm making that up. They made a ton of threes. They could do that in a game that counts, and they haven't yet. But that's possible. And Jasper Floyd, he kept their Mo in check defensively, the point guard Mo. They also had a guard named Pig. Very interesting one-syllable guards they have on Arizona State's roster. But Jasper Floyd, 12 points, including a moonball 3 in the second half to help extend West Virginia's lead. Floyd had 5 rebounds, 4 assists. He only missed 1 shot. That's efficient. And he's doing well. Brennan Laureate, double figures again. He had a dizzy, what only looked like it didn't look like he should end what he was doing with a basketball shot. It looked like he should start running. Like he should have had a bat attached to his forehead, the bottom of the bat on the ground. That's what it looked like, except he was playing basketball. He was pivoting, shot a basketball, it went in. He was not dizzy. Or maybe he was dizzy, and he still made the shot. And that dizzy bat shot gave West Virginia a 13-point lead with a little over 2 minutes left. DJ Thomas, who I would not consider a rebounder early in this season, tonight with that giant that Arizona State had that was really good at basketball, Thomas got past him, got an offensive rebound, and put back for an and one. And everything was good for West Virginia, especially in that second half. And overall, West Virginia 10 of 13 from the free throw line, so that's a good night for them there. West Virginia shot over 50% for the second game in a row. Sneakily, this Mountaineer squad, one of the best teams in the country at shooting three-pointers. They are 43rd as of this recording in Division I. That's 360-some teams. They're 43rd in the country in three-point percentage. Honor Huff's taking a dip, but he's at 39%. Eagle Staff's now at 36%, and he was in the 20s early on this season. Jasper Floyd doesn't shoot a ton, but he's shooting at 42%. Amir Jenkins doesn't shoot a ton. He's at 47%. Brendan Lorient, who shot 50% from three last season at North Texas, he's taking a little dip, 39%. DJ Thomas, a stretch four, 34% from three. And all of a sudden, West Virginia and Ross Hodges' team is a three-point shooting team. They're shooting it well from three. Was this game perfect? Don't ask the referees that. There were some befuddling calls from the guys in stripes, but also from West Virginia. It wasn't perfect. Does this Mountaineer team lead the country in missed dunks? How many did you count tonight? I counted, I believe, 3, and there could have been more. At least in the first half, Lorient had a missed dunk. Eagle Staff was short on a dunk. I believe Obioha missed the dunk in the second half. My understanding, and you are listening to someone who has only had a trampoline involved if they've dunked on a 10-foot rim. But my understanding is that the highest percentage shot in basketball is when you dunk it. Very high. And West Virginia shot over 50% from the floor tonight. And that include dunks missed, plural. Plural dunks missed. I don't know. I don't like that. I can't imagine the Mountaineers like that. I don't know how. Do you have to practice dunks more? Is Ross Hodge saying, you know what, the guys are in there, they're shooting 100 dunks. They go in, they clock in, they have a trainer. And you don't need a trainer or you don't need a manager to rebound your dunks. You could do that on your own. But I don't know if Ross Hodge is having them do that. I've heard that shooting 100 of something is a good practice. So if you're not doing that, Mountaineer team, get your 100 dunks in every day. Because in my opinion, you're missing too many dunks. And as good as West Virginia's defense was, especially in the second half, that first half happened. We saw it. Arizona State was getting open looks. They were making open shots, but they were getting open looks. And even in the second half, West Virginia is trying to extend the lead. And then all of a sudden they let, I believe it was Mo, basically dribble the length of the court and get behind every Mountaineer and make a layup. Not great. Obiaha, only one rebound. That poor guy. You get ESPN Plus, ESPN, Fox. Pick the network. He's not immune at Peacock. The Peacock announcing team got on board with mispronouncing Harlan's last name. Started out strong, but then in a weak moment later in the game, started getting hit with Obiaha. So that's not great that your 7-foot center's got 1 rebound, but you don't have to be perfect to get a win. You just need to have more points than the other team. That's 2 games in a row where West Virginia shot over 50%, 2 games in a row where they've scored over 70, and 2 times in a row where they've held their opponent to under 70 points. And those are all really good things. Have you ever searched yourself online? I've done it. I haven't liked what I've seen. The results could be surprising and sometimes unsettling. Your phone number, your home address, even details about your family are out there, whether you agree to it or not. That's because data brokers are collecting and selling your information to marketers, scammers, and basically anyone willing to pay. Aura fights back. They remove your personal data from broker sites and keep it off. Aura also alerts you fast if your information shows up in a breach or on the dark web. And if your identity is ever stolen, you are backed by up to $5 million in insurance and 24/7 US-based fraud support to help you recover quickly. Right now, you can try Aura free for 14 days when you visit aura.com/remove. That is enough time for Aura to start removing your personal information from data broker sites. Sign up today at aura.com/remove and get the peace of mind that your privacy, identity, and finances are safeguarded. That's aura.com/remove. Certain terms apply. See the site for details. And that gets you to 4-2 in the Big 12 Conference. And you're a third of the way through the schedule. So West Virginia sitting at 4 conference wins. If the Big 12 tournament was held today, and it's not, I know, but if it was held today, West Virginia would be a 7th seed. And in a 16-team Big 12 conference, a 7th seed means you're in the top half of one of the best conferences in the country. So West Virginia right now is a top half Big 12 team. And top half Big 12 teams are either going to make the NCAA tournament or they're in the conversation for the NCAA tournament. That's true. And things could change. There's still 12 games left. But that is a big win. Possibly a bigger win than beating Kansas at home. Kansas is a good win, resume win. But to have any chance when you did what you did in the non-conference of being in the bubble conversation is you've got to get wins on the road. And if you listen to this podcast, you heard me last episode say they've got plenty of chances, but they haven't done it yet. We're in the 3rd month of the basketball season, and West Virginia has 0 wins outside of Morgantown. Now they have more than 0. They have 1. And you don't have to win a ton of road games to get to 10 wins in Big 12 play. But you got to win at least 1. And I said you got to win at least 2. And 1 is half of 2. So you did it. So we can mark that off. You're not going to go through Big 12 play without having a road win. And why stop at 1? Was that the most rambunctious and loud crowd? No, it was not. I would imagine that. Now, I think Bobby Hurley should have a lifetime contract at Arizona State based on what I saw tonight. I think the fans are into him. I think there's a basketball fever in Arizona State that is fueled by Bobby Hurley. So he should keep the job as long as they want to have him. But the crowd was not, I think they broke 7,000 announced. Not very loud. There was let's go Mountaineer chants at the end of this game that were very strong. It doesn't matter. You don't get to choose. West Virginia didn't get to choose how many people were there. They got the win. And West Virginia halfway to the number of road wins I think they need to be on in the bubble. And anything is possible now. And think about it, there's 12 regular season games left. You don't have to play Houston again. You don't have to play Iowa State again. You do have to play BYU. And the next game is going to be tough sledding. But those are teams you only had to play one time. So then you've got 6 home games, 6 road games. If you go 500 from here, if West Virginia is able to win as many games as they lose, they're going to finish 10-8 in Big 12 play, and that's a top half Big 12 record. And that means you're on the bubble. And you haven't done yourself any favors with the non-conference schedule, but 10-8 in the Big 12, your name is in the bracket matrix. That's all I can guarantee. But it's not crazy talk. And it wasn't crazy talk after the Colorado game. And then when you win a road game, then the crazy decreases even more. And the frothing increases. This is audio only. I'm riding a high off of this win. And you should too. That was fun. Some of you all expected, I saw people on the internet saying, West Virginia's got to be 1-1 coming out of this Arizona trip. They did not have to be 1-1. I was expecting 0-2. But here we are. I can be wrong. And I will be wrong again. I tried to guess what this team's record was going to be at the beginning of the year. Probably going to be off there in a good way. Then they didn't win any good non-conference games, and I even lowered the expectations from there. So glad to be wrong. Plenty of basketball to play, but very exciting night. Unreasonable Doubt is under the Smoking Musket umbrella. Go to smokingmusket.com. Read posts about WVU sports, Daily Throwdown. Check that out. Go to the Discord. We're talking about WVU sports and other stuff on the Smoking Musket Discord. Link for that is in the show notes. Listen to West by Pod, the WVU football podcast under the Smoking Musket umbrella. Do all that stuff. Smoking Musket. The next game for West Virginia is Saturday, 2 p.m. CBS, not CBS Sports Network, Network CBS. Like if you got a TV with rabbit ears, you can move those things around, pick up CBS, the local feed. West Virginia goes to Tucson, so they're going to stay in Arizona, go to Tucson to play the Arizona Wildcats. And Arizona is, they're really good at basketball. Is 19-0 good? They're undefeated. They're number 1 in the AP poll. In Ken Pomeroy's computer, they're number 2 right now. They're top 5 in offense and defense in Ken Pomeroy's computer. That's really good. They played 19 games and they've won every game. Every team that they played, they've defeated. They play fast. They got guys we saw last year. They also start 3 freshmen. Those freshmen are all really good at basketball. So they shoot the ball well, and they're really good at offensive rebounding. They're number 3 in the country in offensive rebounding percentage. They are relying on the 3. They don't shoot very many, but when they do, they shoot them well. Arizona State, who West Virginia just beat by 12, went to Tucson last week and gave Arizona a game. Arizona State only lost by 7. Cincinnati went to Arizona tonight and played the Wildcats tough in the first half, and then the second half happened. And Cincinnati got outscored by 20 to Arizona in the second half. And Arizona's looking to go 20-0 on Saturday. And Arizona hasn't lost a game. And so by saying that, Every game they played in Arizona, they've won. And West Virginia is the same. West Virginia, every time they've played in Arizona this season, they haven't lost. So both teams are undefeated going into this one.
In the state of Arizona.
And the crowd in Tucson is going to sound a little different than what we heard tonight in Tempe. A tad rowdier, more of a home court advantage. But both teams are undefeated in Arizona. And so the question we have to answer on Saturday afternoon is, which team will remain undefeated in Arizona this season? We'll find out. That's it for this episode of Unreasonable Doubt. Listen on all the platforms, or just pick one: Apple Podcast, Overcast Podcast, Amazon Podcast, Spotify Podcast, YouTube. Until next time, I'm Josh Witt. WVU, for the 2025-2026 season, they have 13 wins and they have 6 losses.